Sweet meat, also known as Washkabukwias. This video is brought to you by the Pokagon Band of Potawatomi Indians Language and Culture Department. Bugakakun, Sheeman, Pakanin, Ziwagamada. 1 large apple. I got a half a cup of walnuts. Pakanin just means nuts. Ziwagamada is pure maple syrup, not the fake stuff. Gotwatso at Son Gadak. 6 ingredients: 2 pounds of hamburger, a half a cup of chopped walnuts. We're going to use a half a cup of pure maple syrup, 1 large apple, 1 tablespoon of salt, and 1/8 of a cup of maple sugar or brown sugar. First, I cut up this apple here. I used, it's either called a Fiji or a Fuji apple. I just use a large apple. Ujan git kwanan easy wagmada mina ni pakanin mina omshiman. And then I added in the syrup and the nuts and the apple. And that syrup, I only put a quarter of a cup in right now. I'm going to use my other quarter later. Uja gindayabo on, and then I mixed it up. I stirred it. Uja ngikbok kwawa on the cook. And then I covered up my lid. I covered up my pot, and I turned it on high there. Goji mana nyanot bagasen bagagan gizas kukwadan. I fried this hamburger meat for about 5 minutes. Sitagin gipabwa. I added my salt in, flavored it. 1 tablespoon of salt. Not everybody uses that much salt on it, so if that's too much salt for you, just cut back on it some. Egigish sasko quadman in bagagan giziko binan. After I fried the hamburger, I drained it. Bugakakuneya gitonji kakok. I put the hamburger meat back into the pot. Uja ziwagamada gitkonan. 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup. I put it in there. I added it. That's the last of the maple syrup I'm going to use, so now I'm at a half a cup total. Ujamine gindayabo on. And then again, I stirred it. If you notice, I don't have the heat on anymore. Bugakakun gidkwan gada. The hamburger meat was added to everything I had, the apples and the walnuts and stuff. Ujajak gago gindayabo on. And then everything I stirred up. I stirred it all together. Goat de bugan gi kwebabwiton. Goat de bugan means 1 hour. I waited. Gish and goat de buganet gi de babdan iwash kabut wias. After the hour, I checked on the sweet meat. Zispakwit gi de kunan. I added the sugar. You could use 1/8 cup of maple sugar or 1/8 cup of brown sugar. Now this meat will be sweet, but it won't be like over the top sweet. Ujengi gabuk kwawa on the cook goat megwa de bugan gigabaton. And then I covered up my pot and I cooked it for 1 more hour. Gish damn get, it's done. So if you look at the apples, they're not red anymore. They're just like yellowish brown, maybe a tiny bit red. And that's when you know it's done. Everything's pre-cooked. I mean, it's not pre-cooked, but I'm not putting raw ingredients in there, raw meat, so it doesn't really matter how long it's in there. But after 2 hours, all your flavors are together pretty good, and those apples are good. And that's the boss, Marcus. Geep Kadawak O Marcus. Marcus was hungry. Quit time but quit. Kakado O Marcus. He said it tastes really good. So sweet meat washkabukwiyas is oftentimes considered feast food. Here are a few feast etiquette things that I've learned over time. If you've been taught differently, you could stick with what you've learned from your elders. If you're not sure what to do, just call ahead and ask the person holding the feast, what they'd like you to do. First thing, it's a good idea to bring food to share when you've been invited to attend a feast. I don't recommend showing up empty-handed. 2, you shouldn't taste as you cook. Spirits are supposed to be fed first, and that's why we shouldn't taste the food beforehand. 3, if a woman is on her moon time, she should ask someone else to cook or prepare her food or serve it for her. Carla Collins, Indigenous, Minan language specialist, and Gizyan. Miigwetchawab Mishek, Igigabatoyan Odawashkabukwiyas. My name is Carla Collins, and I'm a language specialist, and thank you for y'all watching me while I cook this sweet meat. Ew.